Plus, the latest on a fatal crash turned murder investigation here in Bowling Green.
More counties have been added to the winter storm watch. We'll talk about the freezing rain threat and break down how the precipitation will evolve through Sunday and into Monday. That's coming up.
From WBKO News. Local first. Now, this is WBKO News at 4.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Gene Burke. The winter weather is expected to impact millions this coming weekend, including those of us here in South Central Kentucky. Winter storm watches are in effect for the entire viewing area through Monday. Residents may want to take some time to prepare their property and homes in the event of winter weather impacts like downed limbs, slippery surfaces, and even power outages. Rachel Gaucher, a meteorologist with the IBHS, says prepping around your home could prevent you from digging into your bank account.
Something as simple as just cleaning out your gutters is something that can prevent interior water damage. So if you haven't cleaned out those fall leaves out, that's something really you can do for free with a little sweat equity this weekend. Another simple thing that you can do is caulk or seal up any gaps or cracks around openings in your home, doors and windows, for example.
You can find additional tips and follow our First Alert meteorologists on our website, WBKO.com. And that impending winter weather has prompted a handful of local warming centers to open to the public in Bowling Green beginning next week. The first warming center will open on Monday, January 6th, in the community room at Sugar Maple Square. That's at 1347 Richard Anna Road. Then on Tuesday the 7th through Thursday the 9th, the Capitol will serve as a warming center. It's at 416 East Main Avenue. The last warming center will open Friday the 10th at the Wellness Connection at 428 Center Street. Allocations will be open from 7 a.m. till 5 p.m., and free lunches, snacks, and coffee will be served. The Warren County Sheriff's Office and the Warren County Public Library's free little shuttle offer transportation to the warming centers as well. They can be contacted through the numbers on your screen. Anyone who would like to donate snacks, drinks, or winter supplies such as hats, gloves, hand warmers, or coats for use at the warming centers can contact BG Neighbors via phone at 615-581-7106 or email them at bgneighbors.aid@gmail.com.
It's been a pretty cold Friday. We've had a wind blowing, but we've had that sunshine as we look out over the Aviation Heritage Park here in Bowling Green. Temperatures are in the lower and middle of 30s, and we'll be dipping down into the 20s tonight. 32 in Glasgow and Munfordville, 32 in Litchfield, 34 in Franklin. We do have the winter storm watch, which really covers the entire state, at least really all of South Central Kentucky, and that will go into effect late Saturday night and continue through noon on Monday, because we are looking at that risk of icing all the way down to the Tennessee line. Doppler Max is quiet. We've had just some thin clouds move through for today, and as we look ahead into the night, clear skies will allow those temperatures to come down into the 20s, so bundle up if you do have any of those Friday night plans. First Alert weather days for Sunday and Monday. We'll talk more about the potential impacts from this winter storm and how it could affect early next week. That's coming up.
First Alert weather sponsored by Med Center Health.
So is this going to be the first time that most of the state will see a little bit of snow?
Yeah, I think some areas will get snow, but in reality, we're facing freezing rain. That's really going to be the main threat. Far northern parts of the state, that's where we may have some better accumulating snows. But for us, the concern is mainly that freezing rain. But initially, when we get this precipitation in on Sunday morning, we could have a quick burst of snow, but that will change over to freezing rain fairly quickly. So this is a very complex storm system that we are facing, and unfortunately, we are looking at that icing potential here. Live look outside, though. It is a nice day. Of course, it's been very cold. That winter wind is blowing, and those shadows are being cast across the Aviation Heritage Park as we are late in the day. With those clear skies, temperatures will continue to come down. We're at 32 in Litchfield and Munfordville, Edmonton at 32, 34 here in Bowling Green and Scottsville, so just a few degrees above freezing. Nothing going on, but those skies have really cleared out. And with winds going lighter, temperatures will continue to come down into the 20s. Here is the latest on the forecast as we do look ahead to Sunday. Future Max is starting to get a better scan of this system, and so that inevitably will allow the weather model to produce a more accurate outcome of what we can expect. For your Saturday, things are looking good. We've got some high clouds moving on in. It looks like precipitation will start to move in around dawn on Sunday. And yes, initially we will have some snow, a quick burst of snow, but then the freezing rain really becomes the main threat as we go through the morning. And we could certainly be looking at some pretty significant icing, especially from like Beaver Dam to Litchfield, Munfordville, and points north. Those are the areas that will continue to remain colder and continue to deal with freezing rain into the afternoon. For areas further south from Elkton to Russellville and Bowling Green, we'll see that change over to rain as we get into the afternoon, which is obviously a good thing, but areas further north still dealing with that ice potential and even some snow for points further north. As we get into the early evening hours, that's when the rain is really taking over, but E-Town, Hodgenville, still some freezing rain. That's what the pink is indicating there. During the night, we may have some areas of freezing drizzle as temperatures do come back down. And then on Monday, potentially some snowflakes along with some freezing drizzle. So this is a high impact system as we do go Sunday into Monday. A significant risk, especially on roadways, with that freezing rain during the morning into part of the afternoon. Areas further north will continue to deal with this freezing rain longer during the afternoon. Quick burst of morning snow, and then we will all see that changeover at some points during the afternoon to rainfall. As we look at the main precipitation types, this map here indicates that areas further south will really have that morning ice before we see that changeover to rain during the afternoon. But points north, again, we're starting off with some snow and ice, and then we see that gradual transition to rain as the afternoon does wear on. So this is what we are watching over the next couple of days. First alert weather days for Sunday and Monday, and then after that, it's all about the cold. We've got highs upper 20s to around 30 degrees, and those lows down into the teens.
It's more than a meow. It's a roaring good time. Dan Smith has the story behind some fun feline physics in your moment of science.
From the savannas of Africa to the forests of Russia, the roar of a big cat in the distance can prove fascinating and chilling, especially if it isn't all that distant. Drs. Ed Walsh and Joanne McGee set out to figure out how big cats can transmit their roar like they do. The whole thing started with a conversation back in the 90s involving a reproductive biologist at Omaha's famed Henry Dorley Zoo.
Blue-eyed big-billed tigers have the same hearing abnormality propensities as blue-eyed Siamese domestic cats. I don't have a clue. so we looked into it and discovered that there really wasn't anything out there about tiger hearing, anything really scientifically valid.
The pair used some sound technology, both literal and figurative, that went from studying big cat hearing ability to what they were hearing in those calls. Big cat may seem simplified, but it really does count for 4 species: lions, tigers, leopards, and jaguars. Snow leopards can arguably be separate, not as big, but not exactly a house cat. In fact, their voice boxes are notably smaller than the other 4, allowing for good comparison on the question of long-distance sound, yet size is not the whole story.
The vocal folds of the roaring cats are like square. The space that is formed when the vocal folds close is different than it is in most other mammals in which the shape is triangular.
That increases surface area and aerodynamic efficiency. The lung power alone these cats put out would destroy our voice box in little time, and further study shows how even fat plays a role here. In most mammals, a structure that supports the voice box is ossified or otherwise made up of bony tissue. In big cats, part of that structure is elastic that lets it stretch to help produce a low-frequency call over greater distances.
The calls are powerful. They have to produce a lot of pressure.